WCVB TV, Boston. Now, this is Newscenter 5. Coverage you can count on.
Tonight, a mega merger on the Boston banking scene, a report on the winners and losers in the Bank of Boston Bay Banks deal. Methuen rises from the ashes. Tonight, a community prayer for the victims of last night's mill fire. It was a night of horror and heroism. Firefighters relived last night's battle with fire and ice. And in Medford, a sharp eye and quick thinking saves a kidnapped Cape Cod baby.
Good evening. Two of Boston's biggest banks played Let's Make a Deal tonight.
Bank of Boston, a spurned suitor in merger talks earlier this year, announced plans to acquire Bay Banks. The $2 billion stock deal combines Bank of Boston's corporate power with Bay Bank's strong identity with personal banking. Newscenter 5's money reporter Mark Mills joins us now and try to explain what that all means.
Yeah, well, it was an interesting evening, Chet. It was a well-kept secret until after the stock market closed, but early this evening came word that Bank of Boston and Bay Banks would join forces to create the nation's 15th largest bank with more than $55 billion in assets. They each bring something to the marriage. Bank of Boston is best known as a solid business bank with a strong global franchise. Bay Bank is the go-go consumer bank with new technology and ATMs on every corner.
The customers of what we'll call here in Boston, Bay Bank of Boston, I just love that name, Bay Bank of Boston, are going to have products and services, whether it's the newest in electronic banking, whether it's products from international, whether it's a really sophisticated corporate bank that, well, I think an awful lot of competitors are going to envy.
The merger means some bank branches and employees duplicate each other, and so there will be cuts. Some 85 branches will be closed. 2,000 jobs will be cut, saving some $190 million a year in expenses. No word yet on just what jobs will be lost.
We are going to be as consistently fair and sensitive how to deal with that. We would hope at least half of that, those positions will be handled by attrition, by turnover, by normal retirements or whatever.
The parent corporation will be called Bank of Boston, but the name we'll see on the signs will be Bay Bank of Boston, preserving Bay Bank's typeface with the Bank of Boston's eagle. Bank officials say their combined forces will be good for consumers.
You should have more and better services. There's really no reason for us to do this unless you're going to have more and better services.
Each bank's top executive will assume a top job. Bay Bank's William Crozier will serve as chairman through 1998, and Bank of Boston's Chad Gifford will be president and CEO, eventually succeeding Crozier as chairman. Fleet Bank will still be New England's largest bank. Tonight's proposed merger must be voted on by shareholders of both companies and approved by state and federal regulators. Analysts say even this larger Bank of Boston could still be a potential takeover target, but it will be a lot bigger fish to swallow if the deal goes through. Chet.
All right, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Tonight, the fires continue to smolder at the Malden Mills complex in Methuen. But the inferno that engulfed the city's biggest employer tonight has given the community a burning desire to rebuild. Newscenter 5's Dan Lothian reports live from Methuen, where a vigil was held tonight for the victims of this fire.
Well, Nat, the fire, as you can see behind me, continues to burn. There have been some reports that there is a gas main that is leaking. It does not have its own shutoff valve, so in order to stop the flow, they would really have to shut off the system for this entire area, and they simply can't do that because it is so cold. So for now, that has not been confirmed, but it does appear to be the problem for now. This has been a very long day, a day of assessing the damage and a day of vowing to move forward. It's only a shell of what it once was, flames and smoke rising into the air just yards away from a local diner, where two workers who escaped the firestorm talk about their terrifying ordeal.
There was rain and fire coming down, okay? There was people running everywhere. There was chaos.
It all happened within a few minutes, an explosion, a fire destroying for a time the livelihood of many in this community.
I love my job, I really did. I mean, I know that sounds crazy to some people, but I did. It's the best game in town.
It is for those who walked away from the explosion and those who were carried away that these parishioners gathered to pray. A special mass at St. Monica Parish, a public showing of support for all victims.
For those who suffer, those who are seriously injured, and those who have lost so much.
And beyond prayers, help is coming from outside Methuen. The state and federal government bending over backwards to make things easier for all mill employees.
In some respects, it's overwhelming, too, because there has been an outpouring from the community, from the state government, from the federal government, and we're very, very appreciative.
After seeing these spectacular pictures, most thought it would be the end of Malden Mills. But the company's owner says he'll be back.
We're going to make it, and we'll turn it around.
That promise, coupled with the generosity of Methuen residents and those in surrounding communities, has been overwhelming and refreshing.
I hate to think of anything like this be having a silver lining, but if it shows the resolve and the commitment and the dedication that people have here in this community, maybe it was worth it.
Now, the owner of the mill says that a little more than 1,000 employees should be back to work within the next few weeks, and obviously he hopes to have everyone back to work eventually. Now, this ordeal has not only been terrifying for some of the employees who were stuck inside when the explosion occurred, but also for the firefighters who had to go in and attack this blaze. And Newscenter 5's Steve Sprazier had a chance to talk to some of those firefighters, and I imagine they have some stories to tell.
They certainly do, Dan. The firefighters who responded here to Malden Mills last night are working once again tonight. Group 4 of the Methuen firefighters. Now, they've been to the Malden Mills many times in the past, and usually it's been no big deal, a burst water main or something else. But last night, they arrived to find a scene of tremendous confusion, and the firefighters had to rely on their instinct as well as their training.
They have to go into Mariner Gate and meet Salem Fire.
When Box 53 was struck at the Malden Mills last night, many Methuen firefighters weren't worried.
We got in the truck planning on coming right back with another false alarm, and we pulled up on the scene, and it was just a disaster. There were people walking around with just clothes burnt right off them.
Tonight, as the firefighters refilled air tanks and sorted out gear, they recalled the horror of last night.
We saw a couple of injured people badly burnt. We saw maybe a half a dozen injured people before we even got to the building. We also had reports of people still up on the second and first floor.
So they began searching.
Smoke was down about knee level. We did have our masks on and lights and everything, and we were basically crawling on our hands and knees for the most part. We got and searched maybe a third of the building before we had to back out before it got too hot.
We had walking wounded, about 20 of them. From just looking from the ambulance, I could see we had second and third degree burns.
Firefighter Jim Garrity was one of the first EMTs on scene.
It was cooling the burns, putting out what clothes were still on fire, making sure that the patients were kept warm and keep them from getting hypothermia, but most of all, making sure that they had oxygen because we were dealing with severe respiratory burns.
You need another one over there?
It's an experience these firefighters hope never to repeat.
It's a career fire, you know. Not too many people see these in the course of their career. Sadly to say, I don't feel fortunate to have seen it.
Firefighters who remain at the scene of the burning Malden Mills rubble. There are also some volunteers on the scene, volunteers of the Trauma Intervention Program who are working right now with the residents who were evacuated, residents who may not get back to their homes until Saturday, working with them to try and make sure that they will have a smooth transition as they try and deal with what happened in this neighborhood. For my colleague Dan Lothian, I'm Steve Sprazier reporting live in Methuen. Back to you, Natalie.
Thank you, Steve and Dan. Tonight, I'm sorry to say there's very little change to report on the injuries that were sustained in the Malden fire. There were 32 people who were hurt by last night's fire, including 5 firefighters. At this hour, 13 of the injured remain hospitalized. 8 of them are listed in critical condition with life-threatening injuries. The doctors caution that nursing burn victims back to health is a long and exhaustive process.
Tomorrow we'll start surgery. Tomorrow we'll do procedures probably every other day on all of them to try to get the dead burn tissue off as quick as possible to avoid infection and start reconstructing, particularly their hands and face.
In addition to the extraordinary burns and injuries suffered as a result of the explosion, all of those critically injured also suffered lung damage from the acrylics that burned in the mill fire.
Red Cross is asking for blood donations to help the victims of the mill fire. Donors can call the Red Cross tomorrow morning at this number, 1-800-GIVE-LIFE, 1-800-GIVE-LIFE. Another 800 number will be in service tomorrow. That was set up by the Malden Mills for anyone needing information about the condition of the victims and the recovery effort at the mill. That number is 1-800-371-3986, 1-800-371-3986. And we'd like to remind you to stay with News Center 5 for continuing coverage of the Malden Mills fire. We'll have the latest on the eye-opener beginning at 5 tomorrow morning.
Next on News Center 5, a child kidnapping drama comes to a happy ending thanks to alert actions of a local firefighter.
Also ahead, the federal government lays the blame of this year's deadly helicopter crash in Cambridge right on the state police.
Well, we've got this cold weather, and soon we're going to have some snowy weather. I'll be back with the details in a few minutes.
Time magazine calls Heat awesome, wholly original, one for the books. Heat is the goods.
I do what I do best.
A spellbinder. You won't be able to take your eyes off them.
This crew is good.
Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Val Kilmer, a Michael Mann film. Heat, rated R. Starts Friday, December 15th at a theater near you.
Got your eye on Mattel's Ultimator foam missile launcher? Got a coupon? Whoops! Shop Walmart for your kids, where you always save on toys. With coupons, you save sometimes. With Walmart, always. Got your eye on My Size Princess Barbie? Got a coupon? Whoops! Shop Walmart for your kids, where you always save on toys. With coupons, you save sometimes. With Walmart, always.
Everybody, I'm Dawn Hayes. Welcome back to Lottery Live. It's a Mass Millions night. Tonight's jackpot is estimated at $2 million. Let's get right to it and see how you did this evening. Our first number is 1. And next, we have number 43. And that's going to be followed by number 10. How you doing so far? 3 down and 3 to go. Let's take a look at our next number. It is number 29. And next, we have number 13, and our 6th ball is number 36. If you have these 6 numbers, you have just hit the Mass Millions jackpot. But remember, any 5 plus the bonus ball wins you 50 grand. The bonus ball is number 48. Once again, the winning Mass Millions numbers for Tuesday, December 12th are 1, 10, 13, 29, 36, 43, with a bonus ball of 48. Thanks for joining me. Stay tuned for the lottery update. Bye-bye.
You're watching News Center 5 tonight. Coverage you can count on with Chet Curtis, Natalie Jacobson, meteorologist Dick Albert, and Mike Lynch on sports. Now, News Center 5 continues.
Tonight, police have recovered a 4-month-old baby who was allegedly kidnapped on Cape Cod last night. But they're still trying to untangle the series of events that brought the baby from Mashpee to Medford and left 2 women in trouble with the law. News Center 5's David Boeri has the story.
Jacqueline Savior had been missing from a Department of Mental Health facility for a week. As far as police were concerned, it was anyone's guess why she had allegedly kidnapped 4-month-old Hallie Foster Lamb and driven off in a car belonging to the baby's mother.
Lots of no ideas. We have absolutely no clue what's going on in her mind.
Today, police cruised Mashpee parking lots and roads, and they scrambled when a Falmouth woman said she might have seen a blue Dodge Colt. But the first confirmed sighting of the allegedly stolen Dodge Colt didn't occur until this evening.
I just called the state police, and they got me in touch with the Medford barracks, and I asked them if I had the right car. I'm like, is that the right one? I wasn't sure. I wasn't positive. So they were like, just keep following her.
Rich Coracino was driving in Medford with his 3-month-old son, Ryan. State police quickly responded. The car pulled into a liquor store parking lot.
The first thing she said was like the mother knew that she had the baby, and I was like, I don't think so, not if it was on the news.
She'd been staying in a halfway house, and other than that, she said she'd been off her medication, and she does some crazy things when she's off her medication.
Police say the baby was well bundled and buckled into her seat. She was brought to the Boston Regional Hospital and pronounced in fine condition.
What are you thinking?
The baby's mother, Louise Lamb, told police she only met the suspect yesterday. After stopping at an inexpensive motel, she told police, she left Sevier alone with her baby while she made a 5 to 10 minute visit to someone in a room there. The baby is in state custody tonight. The suspect will be arraigned tomorrow. For Newscenter 5, I'm David Bowery.
The teenager accused of killing high school honor student Barrington Nevins is back in Boston tonight. 17-year-old Anthony Robinson arrived at Logan Airport. He surrendered to police near Richmond, Virginia on Sunday and waived extradition. 17-year-old Barrington Nevins was killed the day after Thanksgiving, reportedly because he refused to give up his jacket, sneakers, and a gold chain. Police issued a warrant for Robinson's arrest 4 days later. He will be arraigned tomorrow. Weather's coming up next. Dick Albert sees some snow in our chilly future.
Also ahead, Michael Jackson finally gets his walking papers in New York City.
And the Celtics are just plain delightful during their first visit to Toronto.
Isn't 90s technology marvelous? Look at the Hewlett-Packard Office Jet, a wonderful device allowing father to print, fax, and copy, all from one machine. So now he can leave the office and finish his work at home in a relaxed environment that promotes paternal bonding and results in increased productivity.
The HP Office Jet printer, fax, copier. A better way to go to work.
Check my pants, Daddy. I've been productive too.
Merry Christmas.
Grandma, look at the tree.
Isn't it nice to know you can always count on the LL Bean catalog to have the perfect Christmas gift for everyone on your list?
While visions of sugar plums dance.
Best of all, it's probably in your house right now. The LL Bean Christmas catalog. There. Wasn't that easy?
I'm Ted Koppel. Coming up on Nightline, a Republican offer, $1 million reward to anyone who proves they're trying to destroy Medicare. That story tonight.
I have got to tell you about the Filene's Basement one-day sale, starting this Wednesday at 7 a.m. We've got tons of merchandise for men and women at an extra 25% off our unbelievably low prices. That's like saving up to 75% off department store prices. Just about the whole store is on sale. Remember, absolutely outrageous bargains, all at an extra 25% off. It's the Filene's Basement one-day sale, Wednesday at 7 a.m. It's incredible. Don't miss it.
She's a megastar, Julia Roberts. You told me we can talk about anything, so believe me, I will. Okay, go. On the next program. Tomorrow at 4 on Channel 5.
Now, meteorologist Dick Albert and the Weather Center 5 forecast.
So how do you like your winters? Cold, snowy? You're in the right spot.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you. We've had the cold, now we've got some snow coming in.
I knew you wouldn't disappoint us, Dick.
We used to call you the Snow Bunny, didn't we?
You did?
No, I'm just kidding you, Dad. All right, let's see what's going on.
Good thing you're short on time. You better move on to the forecast.
Clear and cold tonight. Temperatures, look at this, 22 in Boston, teens in Falmouth and in Portsmouth and in Worcester, where it's 13 degrees. Now, what's happening tonight is we have high pressure forming over the northeast, going to move over us tonight and tomorrow, and it's certainly chilly, but to the west there's an area of precipitation developing, and that certainly is going to be a problem for Thursday night into Friday. Snow to the north of this front, some rain to the south, and that front's going to be near us in the next 24 hours. Now, speaking of the next 24 hours, is the Geminid meteor shower tomorrow night. If you look to the evening in the east between 9 and 11, you ought to see some shooting stars, and it looks like it'll be clear enough for you to see those shooting stars, but it will cloud up after that, because if we look at the latest radar, we see some snow in this area, some rain down to the south, and these two areas will get together and eventually move eastward to affect our weather with that snow that I was talking about. And that should come in not tomorrow night. But tomorrow it'll be just cold and dry with some sunshine. But late tomorrow and tomorrow night, this area of snow will be moving in. I think it'll just about miss the Thursday morning commute. But during the day, Thursday and Thursday evening, there could be some slippery spots with some accumulation of that snow. So we'll look forward to that. All right, here's your forecast. Clear and very cold tonight, 0 to 15. And then tomorrow, a sunny day, a cold day, but the winds will be light. Temperatures 22 to 30. Tomorrow night, a clear start, but it will be clouding up. Temperatures 8 to 20. And Thursday, A period of snow is very likely. Temperatures mid-20s to the low 30s on Thursday. And the 5-day outlook, it's really tough to forecast Friday and Saturday. A front will be near us. If we're on the warm side, we'll be warmer than those temperatures. We're on the cold side, we'll be colder. It's going to be cloudy. There'll be a little rain, maybe some freezing precipitation, but I'm really going to look very closely at the maps tomorrow to try to figure out Friday and Saturday.
Not to worry.
Excellent.
When Newscenter 5 continues, state police answered some scathing criticism from the federal government.
The NTSB finds fault with the police following the investigation into a deadly helicopter crash this past winter in Cambridge.
TJ Maxx has great gifts at great prices for everyone on your list right now. Like a terrific selection of sweaters for men and women, just $19.99. Luxurious lingerie for her at $9.99. And great casual shirts for him for only $14.99. Plus toys and books for the kids on your list for under $10. At TJ Maxx, you'll also find fabulous savings on many more fine quality gifts. So stop by TJ Maxx today and put a smile on a lot of faces.
It's Caldor's best holiday one-day sale. For 18 hours, save 20% to over 70%. Thursday, 6 a.m. to midnight, save 25% off all Barbie, Fisher-Price toys, board games, and bicycles. Take 45% off men's and women's knit tops and 50% off men's protein outerwear and fleece. Take 55% off pure cotton sheet sets, then 70% plus an additional 10% off all gold and gemstone jewelry. Thursday only, 6 a.m. to midnight. Merry Christmas from Caldor.
The legendary watch dial, exhibited in distinguished museums around the world, is the design inspiration for the Movado Museum collection of watches. Movado, the museum watch.
The federal government says the Massachusetts State Police are largely responsible for the February helicopter crash that killed 4 people. As Newscenter 5 first reported in August, investigators found contaminated fuel and clogged fuel injectors caused the state police chopper to plummet into a Charles River boathouse. Today, in a scathing report, the National Transportation Safety Board accused the state police air wing of poor maintenance, poor oversight, and inadequate pilot training.
The National Transportation Safety Board determines that the probable cause of this accident was the Massachusetts State Police management's failure to provide adequate oversight of its air wing.
We have permanently closed the Framingham fuel site. All but one of our pilots has been returned to active status, and 2 have been trained and certified as helicopter flight instructors. The department has written new standard operation procedures that will be incorporated into a new manual.
The NTSB says it intends to make a national example of the Mass State Police to avert similar tragedies. 2 state police pilots and 2 telephone company employees were killed in that crash.
News tonight that the MWRA is considering a massive project to build a backup aqueduct for Boston. The 18-mile Hultman Aqueduct, which is the only pipe delivering drinking water to Boston, has 27 leaks. And with no backup, it can't be fixed. Newscenter 5 has learned the MWRA board will vote tomorrow on a $530 million project to build a second aqueduct. If approved, water bills will increase up to $71 a year by the year 2003, when the MWRA estimates the average bill will be $1,082.
Michael Jackson fans can sleep a little easier tonight. The King of Pop is out of the hospital. Jackson was released from the Beth Israel Medical Center today, 6 days after collapsing during a rehearsal. Doctors say Jackson's gastrointestinal illness was life-threatening, and he will need monitoring on an outpatient basis. The 37-year-old singer waved to a crowd, and frenzied fans made a peace sign before he was whisked away to an undisclosed location.
Celtics play tonight. Mike Lynch with sports coming right up.
The cleanup continues from that devastating mill fire in Methuen. We'll have the latest. And President Clinton heads to Paris for the Bosnian peace accords. Details tomorrow on the Eye Opener.
More New Englanders get their news from Channel 5 than from any other source. Newscenter 5. Coverage you can count on from people you can trust.
Do you love him? I think very highly of him.
2 sisters. One followed her passion.
To die for love, what could be more glorious?
The other denied her heart.
He must have had his reasons for going. His reason was no doubt your coldness.
Each will experience the pain.
Did he tell you that he loved you?
And discover the possibility of love.
My heart is yours.
Sense and Sensibility. Rated PG at select theaters Wednesday.
Je t'aime. Oh oui, je t'aime.
Oh, mon amour, tu es la vague, moi, l'île nue.
Je te
To seduction, champagne moet, where celebration is born.
It's your last chance. Jordan Marsh's last one-day sale before Christmas. Low prices store-wide. Wednesday, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Get more boombox for your buck. Circuit City. You can't find a lower price. We guarantee it.
You know, there's nothing quite like a leisurely drive in the Outback. Subaru Outback, that is. And you can bet your boots there's nothing quite like this. The amazing Outback lease. Now, that's what I call a ripper deal. Just ask your Subaru dealer about it. If they don't do you right, let me know. My no-nonsense approach can be very effective. Subaru Outback, the world's first sport utility wagon.
Hi, everybody. Here's the lottery update. The Mass Millions jackpot continues to grow. We had no top prize winner this evening. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow for Lottery Live.
Live with Mike Lynch. This is SportsCenter 5.
You know, the only thing ferocious about Toronto is its nickname, the Raptors, who were wrapped up by D. Brown and the Celtics tonight, 116-96. Celtics are now 9-10, folks, and they have won 3 in a row on the trail. In Skydome, that's the home side of the Toronto Raptors. Obviously, the roof is closed for the entire winter and the entire season. The Celtics were smoking early, especially their backcourt as they pounce on the Raptors. Dana Barros here with a layup, hit a three-pointer in the game for the 75th consecutive game. And D. Brown had 20 points and 10 assists. Celtics led by 14 at the half. In the second half, that lead swelled to as many as 25 points. Toronto made one late run, but the Celtics had more than enough. And the dunk of the night turned in here by this Raptor, but the Celtics had a little more bite than this guy. They win it easily. What an athlete. Where do they find these guys? Easy, Coach Cal. Easy, easy, easy. You always talk about playing Popcorn State. Well, here's one tonight. University of North Carolina at Wilmington. No threat at all for UMass. And UMass plays such a tough schedule. It's okay to have an easy one on the night, and they have one right now. They just have defeated University of North Carolina Wilmington 77-51. They're undefeated at 6-0. Well, Dan Allen was officially introduced today as the new head football coach at Holy Cross. Allen rebuilt the program at Boston University and made a run for a national title in 1992. Now he comes back to Worcester, where he coached at Holy Cross as an assistant for 8 years. Why leave the BU job and come back to Holy Cross, who's fallen upon hard times?
It's a great opportunity for myself, it's a great opportunity for my family, and it's one that I'm looking forward to, and get the old roller skates on and off we go. The non-scholarship issue is something that can become an issue if you let it, but if you go out and recruit hard, and as I say, you have a great product to sell, I think it's easy.
All right, for my money, this is the story of the year. Trust me. BU goalie J.P. McCursey, hit by a car while riding his bicycle in the summer of '94. He was in a coma. Doctors told him he would never walk again. Well, you know what, folks? He started tonight in goal for Boston University. Made 5 saves in the first period. That is the sports story of 1995. BU wins over Dartmouth 8-3. Well, with all the well wishes for Frank Sinatra on this his 80th birthday, some of the players in the National Football League decided to honor old Blue Eyes in their own unique manner. Block your ears.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. I'll state my case,
of which I'm certain.
I've laughed and cried, I've had my fill.
my share of losing.
I ate it up and spit it out.
I did it my way.
And did it
Geez, where does it hurt most?
Wow. What would you like, rather listen to that or fingernails on the blackboard?
Now, guys, not everyone's blessed with your lovely voice, Chet.
Well, I mean, these guys, you know, should stick to football.
Think it's easy?
Happy birthday, Frank Sinatra, by the way.
In case you're listening. Have a good night.
Stay tuned for Nightline. Good night, everybody.
Good night.